Hey guys, GK here. Um, I've suddenly felt the urge to be productive today, so uh, yeah, here we go. Uh, last last episode, I think I digressed for way too long, so we're just gonna jump right into the reading this time, so as to not waste anyone's time. All right. So then, as a reminder, we are reading Mario is Missing by Skywrites on Archive of Our Own. Today, we're going to read Chapter 2, You Have To. So, without further ado... alright, hold on. And before that, like I said before, I think I was a bit off with the voices, so I'll try to do a little bit better with that. So, yeah. Just let me get a quick drink of water here. And all right, I think we're good. Here we go. Things didn't go well once I finally explained that I wasn't Mario. "What do you mean you're not Mario?" she yelled, slamming her hands down on his desk. She nearly knocked over Charlie. That's my Fireflower. "What kind of weirdo dresses up like Mario and hangs around his office all day then?" I tried to explain the best I could. I'm his brother. I just like to dress like my big brother. We live here in the office. It's better than renting a second room and saves us money, which, to be frank, we're in desperate need of. Daisy seemed insulted at the notion of needing money. Most people just assume because Mario is famous, we're paid extremely well. Sadly, Mario was a little bit too kind. He'll often do jobs for free or take an extremely low pay. Chief Peach always tries her best to pay him too, but the new Donk Police Department isn't in the best shape either. It wasn't like I minded or anything. Mario and I always felt most comfortable in a cozy home like this. And while I admit I do sometimes wish that Mario would accept gifts or tips, I'm not the one out there doing any of the work, so I don't dare bring it up. What right of that is mine, after all? Daisy's face contorted in disgust. Well, whatever. None of that matters to me. Although, it clearly did matter to her a little. I need help, and I don't care if you're Mario's cousin. You're going to help me. Oh, believe me, you would not want our cousin helping you. I tried my best to tell her no. I really did. I shook my head. I said, sorry I can't, teared up a little, and I cowered at her powerful gaze. Usually this gets me out of anything anyone asks me. I've learned that if you look pathetic enough, and boy do I look pathetic, that most people will stop asking you for your help. Daisy was not most people. "Quit crying, will you?" Daisy demanded, and for whatever reason my body obeyed her commands. I couldn't even force a sniffle. "Now, are you going to help me or not?" "No, absolutely not. Never in a million years. What could I possibly do to help you?" "Okie dokie," I said, with a small nod. "Ah, why am I constantly losing war with myself?" "That's better," Daisy said, clearly pleased with herself. She seemed all too aware of what she was doing, as if she had done this a million times. "Now, about my case." She told me so much information, I could barely keep up. I don't think I've even talked to my own brother as much. Apparently, Miss Daisy was from someplace called Sarasa City. It sounded foreign. I'd never heard of it. Then again, I barely know what's 2 blocks away from our home. "Hey, shouldn't you be writing this down?" Daisy growled, noting the blank stare that must have been on my face. "That's what detectives do, don't they?" Sorry," I said back, fumbling through Mario's desk. I pushed aside his mushroom cigars, I really wish he would quit, and found a stash of notepads. There were a lot of used red notepads scrawled with messy handwriting that I could barely read, but I found one unused in the very back, in green, with the letter L on its cover. I felt so ashamed. He must have wanted me to join his detective adventures at some point. It must not have taken him long to give up on that. Good, Daisy nodded, seeing the notepad in my hands. I scribbled down everything she told me to the best of my ability. Anyway, as I was saying, I guess Daisy was known as some sort of sports celebrity over in her city. At least, that's what she told me. Everyone knew her. Everyone but, me. I'm not much of a sports fan. I'm more into cartoons. She wasn't just a master at one sport either. Tennis, golf, soccer, you name it. This woman was on the top of every game somehow. But it's just so boring, you know? Daisy sighed, arm dangling ungracefully over the chair. She stared out into the neon signs of the dark city again. I don't want to play sports anymore. I want to go somewhere dark and gritty and gross. I want to party with Goombas and Koopas. Maybe even some bandits. I want to try what those Shy Guys next door are selling. Okay, well, I don't know how relevant any of that was, but I wrote it down anyway. Also, what are those awful Shy Guys making? Nothing illegal, I hope. Oh, Mario was far too kind. He probably knew what they were up to and never told the police. Well, anyway, Daisy huffed, as if none of this illegal activity was a big deal. The other day I was over at Bowser's Castle, right? Bowser's Castle? Even I knew that place. That's a dance club casino run by the infamous King Bowser. It's his base of operations. Chief Peach and even Mario have tried to pin a crime on him over the years, but nothing ever seems to stick. The guy always comes out squeaky clean. Evidence goes missing, witnesses strangely don't want to talk anymore. Why would Daisy want to go to a place like that? It's just asking for trouble. Mario's always told me to stay away from there. Told me to never get involved in something so dangerous. It seemed there was no one around to tell Daisy that, though. That's kinda sad, isn't it? That Bowser certainly knows how to run a place, Daisy went on, power stars in her eyes. I've never had so much fun in my life. Ugh, the music was so dark, but so cool. The people didn't treat me like a stuffy celebrity. They knew who I was, but I could tell that if I let my guard down for even a second, I might wake up missing a liver in an alley somewhere. And what about that sounds fun? Personally, I don't think they're as bad as people say, though. Those Koopa Bros are big dopes. All bark and no bite. Once you show them you're not some dainty little princess, they learn their place. She hung out with the Koopa Bros? Bowser's personal ninja assassins? Well, they're officially listed as his bodyguards/bouncers of Bowser's Castle, but everyone knows who had done it when they found a shuriken on the scene of a crime. Mario even personally put a few of them away at some point, and I remember being so proud of him, but he just frowned and reached for his cigars. The Koopa Bros always took the fall for Bowser, who was his real target. Mario wouldn't talk about it much. He didn't like to be angry around me. Right, so keep this to yourself. Confidentiality or whatever, Daisy said, waving the words away like a troublesome fly. I couldn't get in to see Bowser himself, and I admit, I really wanted to. But I did get to meet his right-hand woman, Cammy Koopa. She's kind of a stuck-up old hag, but she sold me some amazing, She stopped and glared at me. You're not gonna snitch on me, right? I really shouldn't I, for her sake? I shook my head, no. I would be too scared to snitch on her. Good. She sold me the most amazing royal syrup I've ever had in my whole life. Again, I saw the power stars in her eyes, but this time it was slightly more disconcerting. There was a blankness there that I didn't like, a thing that muted her, that almost controlled her. I've heard about syrup addicts. I've seen them on the street. It's a sad state of affairs. It's commonly used to treat sickness, lethargy, unable to power up, that sort of thing. But Bowser's gang makes the stuff illegally. I've read about it on gossip articles and heard that rumor is he's got a few honeybees locked up throughout the city, all forced to make his royal syrup. They say that Queen Bee never died in that explosion over in Honey Hive Lane. There was no body found. They say that Bowser has her somewhere, but no one's ever found proof of that. And, well, Daisy laughed, but I could tell she was feeling embarrassed. She reached for another cigarette hurriedly. Guess I sort of drank too much of this stuff. Blacked out for a couple of days. Can't remember a single thing. A couple of days? Yeah. She returned her gaze to the window, as if it was easier to look there. I woke up here on Pipe Street with a nasty hangover and about 90% less coins than I came with. That's not really the problem. Money isn't an issue. She puffed another breath of black. I lost my crown. For once, I detected a hint of shame in her movements. The confident, strong woman that started here seemed to be blowing all that away with each puff of smoke. God, I was so stupid to bring it along. I didn't think anyone would be able to pull a fast one on me. I thought I could show it off in public. I thought I could prove all those rich asymmetricals wrong, that I didn't need them. I felt for her. New Donk City is a harsh place. I've seen nights where even Mario questioned why he stayed here. Even when it came to my own brother, I never knew the right thing to say. Also, frick, I said the word. Shoot. Where's your asymmetricals when you need them? I could probably edit that in. Sorry, I muttered. That caught her attention. She realized she was no longer talking to herself. The stars faded away and the flowery blue of her eyes returned. Whatever, that isn't important. My job for you is to find my crown again. It was a gift from my grandma, passed down through my family. It's priceless. It goes all the way back to when my ancestors used to rule over the lands or something. I had a feeling she had no idea what the actual significance of her crown was. But I can't go back without it, you understand? Daisy said, rather threateningly I might add. They'll never let me live it down. That damn Peasley... Oh my god, Peasley? Like from the, Superstar Saga games? Yes. These references. That damn Peasley will be so gosh darn smug. She spat the name out like acid. They'll never let me leave again. She knew Peasley? Now there was a fine celebrity. Maybe whoever they were right not to let her leave. Daisy was more perceptive than I gave her credit for. She clarified who they were. My stupid coach. He used to be some sort of Admiral Navy guy or whatever. Bobbery. You must have heard of him. He's famous. She paused, waiting for my reaction. I had none. Who was that guy? After he retired his boring life in the sea because of, like, some dead wife or whatever, he became a world-famous coach. But personally, I don't see what's so great about him. This went on a little longer than necessary, but I don't think I needed to write down the details about this robbery, such as he's more strict than a Bob-omb's little butt. She used stronger language, but I refused to write that down. From what I gathered, it sounded like he wanted to take care of her, and he wanted the best for her. Or maybe he just really wanted a good tennis player under his belt. Either way, there was one thing I knew for certain. Daisy was desperate to prove herself. I think I could understand that. I might not have had the courage or the power that she did, but I feel that urge too. To be someone better than I am. I know that can never happen, but when Daisy looked me in the eye, I felt that burning sensation. That power and energy. So! Daisy exclaimed, perking up after her talk as if I were her therapist. That's like pretty much everything, probably. I figure you should, I don't know, go out and do some detectiving? I said, trying to explain that it's pretty late. Also, it's raining. Also, I kinda don't want to. Not to mention I still need to call Peach and ask about Mario. Somehow, that all appeared to get through to her. Daisy nodded along as if she had perfectly understood what I had said. What's it matter if it's raining and late? Isn't that what detectives do best? I mean, let me be real here for a moment, she said as if she had ever stopped being real. I've got no money and I've got no place to stay. So... she shrugged. I was thinking I could just stay here, and it's not polite to stay with a lady, you know. You don't know, so you should probably go. No, what? She was trying to kick me out of my own home? Does she really think I'm so pathetic and lowly as to say yes to that? Nah, who am I kidding? Let's get this over with. Okie dokie, I sighed. Before I could even realize what was happening, I felt her strong hands gripping and pushing my shoulders, shoving me out the door. Great, thanks. Let me know how it goes tomorrow, alright? I'm beat. I really need some shut-eye. Bye-bye, I said to the already closed and locked door. What have I gotten myself into now? Oh well, I could always use the fresh air anyway, I guess. It wouldn't kill you to help out someone for once, Luigi. I hope. The air outside reeked of humidity. A dampness clung to my overalls, a warm, sweaty wetness that soaked into my skin. The rain at least helped keep things slightly cooler. It made me feel like it was normal to be this wet. Dark clouds swirled through the sky, and spotlights attempted to pierce the black stuff in vain. Bright neon lights reflected against the dark. It was ominous, to say the least. I stood at the stoop of our building's entrance, staring out into the dripping city. A quiet rustling came from down on the sidewalk below. Rats, probably, or maybe a squeak. Gross. Now that I was standing here, I had to think. What in the world should I even be doing? I promised to help Daisy find our crown, but how would I even begin? I didn't even know what the crown looked like. Maybe I should have asked more questions. Or maybe I should forget all that and focus on Mario? There was too much. Too much. Too much anxiety, too much worry, too much city. I'll never be able to find that crown, and I'll never be able to find my brother. I slapped myself across the face a little harder than I probably should have. Relax. Relax, Luigi. Come on. Let's take this one step at a time. That's what Mario would do. He wouldn't worry. He wouldn't let anything get to him. Maybe he wasn't always sure what to do, but he'd always take a step forward. Maybe that's all I need to do. Take a step forward. That's something I can do. One step forward into the city. Small steps towards goals. Let's do it. I'm the best. I let out a determined huff and nodded, a stern and serious frown across my lips. Yeah, I can do this. I gotta be tough and grizzled like every other detective. I took my first step toward the city, into the mystery, and into the courageous, brand new Luigi. Everything was going extremely well until my foot attempted to land on solid ground. Something hard, yet strangely soft, found itself under the sole of my shoe. It squeaked and screamed and writhed in anger, knocking me off my balance and down onto the damp city sidewalk face first. Ow! Ow! Hey! A voice screamed. What the hell are you doing? Although I was dazed and staring at my bruised nose, I attempted to stay confident. Using my hearing skills, I noticed it was a female voice. Did you just stomp on me? She asked, a tinge of disgust and horror in her voice. I knew this city had some creeps. I knew people didn't treat us Goombas right, but oh my gosh! I can't believe you tried to do this in public! And to an officer of the law! I'd say you're brave, but you're the worst kind of sleazebag there is. I clearly hit some sore spot here. Also my back. My back hurt. I tried my best to apologize, but this woman was not having it. Her tiny form towered over my nose in front of me. The first thing that stood out was the dark blue of her uniform and the bright red white letters printed on it. NDPD. You're under arrest for assaulting an officer, she yelled, her blonde hair a wet mess looking like the bottom of my shoe for some reason. She reached into her tiny jacket's pocket and pulled out a pair of handcuffs, which was impressive considering she was a Goomba. Things started turning into a kind of kerfuffle, and maybe she even muttered a curse under her breath as she struggled to get the cuffs around my wrists, with nothing but her feet and her fangs. Stop struggling, creep! I'm not. I'm trying to help you put my hands behind my back. Although, ow, that hurts. Wait, let me just stretch for a second. Won't come quietly, will you? She yelled as one of my arms flailed in dismay, a cuff clinking along against it. You like bonking people on the head, do ya? Well, let's see how you like it! Bonk! I didn't like it at all. In fact, I didn't like it so much that I sort of blacked out right there. Well, at least it got me to stop struggling. My head ached. I was damp. I was dirty. I was unconscious. And I was under arrest. My first step into the big city was not going well. I knew I could never get anywhere without Mario. At the very least, being unconscious certainly made things easier for me. I didn't have to worry about where I was going or who I was bothering. The swelling on my forehead did hurt, though. Wait, if I'm unconscious, how could I think about all this or feel that? Oh no. I pretend to be unconscious, aren't I? I tried to will my eyes to open to find out where I was. My eyelids refused. They would not let me break character. I had no idea where I was or how I got here. I vaguely remembered something hard sticking into my back, as if something was carrying me on their head like a bowl of fruit. There were voices. Many voices. Things were starting to become clearer. A phone rang. Multiple phones. Scratchy, strained voices were answering them quickly. Toads, but they were distant. Maybe in another room? Two of the voices were louder than the rest, and their words slowly began to form in my mind. I wish I could stay unconscious.
Bella, what is this about?
This voice was soft, sweet, but stern and powerful. Hearing it made me feel safe.
This guy assaulted me!
Oh, this was the Goomba police officer. I recognized her voice.
I know how it is, but... You have no idea how it is!
Silence. The door slammed shut. I could no longer hear the toad voices outside. The soft voice stayed quiet for a while. Goombella, I know you're under a lot of stress, but I will not allow you to raise your voice to me like that. I'm starting to question if I should have trusted you with all this after all. You're more of a loose cannon than a toad, She didn't finish her sentence for some reason. I could tell the female Goomba was holding her tongue, trying to keep her anger in check. There was an uncomfortably soggy silence as she shuffled in her damp uniform. Sorry, Chief. Chief? It didn't take a genius detective to figure this one out. I must be in Chief Toadstool's office. You should be. One more outburst like that and you're off the case, understand? The princess's words were harsh, but her voice kept that softness. There was a compassion there that was hard to explain. Even through all that, this Goombella stayed tough and sassy. I understand, but I don't take Goomba discrimination lightly, you know? Chief Toadstool let out an exasperated sigh. I know, Goombella, I know, but this is Luigi. He couldn't hurt a fly. She actually knows who I am? I felt joy flittering in my chest in the briefest of moments. That's Luigi? Said the officer. That's Mario's brother? I mean, I guess the tacky outfit gives it away, but I was expecting, well, more. Most people do. That joy didn't last long. Well, I was on my way to check out Mario's office for any signs of him, and I was scouting outside the perimeter for any possible clues, you know? I didn't expect to find any before I visited the office, but I also didn't expect to get someone totally trying to stomp on me. I'm certain Luigi just stumbled onto you, Chief Toadstool said all too accurately. I only met her a few times in my whole life. How did she know? Really? Gumbella asked, insulted that I was just that clumsy instead of actually evil. I'm certain. She paused before hanging the subject. So I assume you found nothing then? Uh-huh. It's alright, I figured out as much. It's probably best you brought him here anyway. I need to ask Luigi if he knows anything. Me? If I know anything? Oh no, this was starting to sound worse and worse. What happened to you, Mario? I can't find out. I'm going to stay unconscious. I don't want to wake up. How are we supposed to do that? He's so out of it, he might as well be in Bean Bean City. See, it's so much better this way. No questions need to be answered, and no one needs to rely on me. He's not. Chief Toadstool sighed. Luigi, get up. No, I won't get up. How could you tell I'm faking it? If there's one thing I'm good at, it's lying down with my eyes closed really hard. Okie dokie, my mouth said too easily. There was no point in hiding it anymore. I opened my eyes and nearly blinded myself to the fluorescent lighting. Gumbella's pink face was flushed in shock and anger. She was still looking pretty roughed up from our encounter. Her police hat was askew, and the little mushroom embedded in its center seemed to be ready to fall right off. Were you faking it this whole time? Did you make me carry you all the way here for nothing? I nodded. Well, I didn't know just how much I was faking it. I was certainly unconscious of it at least a little. Maybe I should have been a little more honest towards the end there, though. I can't believe it, she grumbled. That's not important right now, Gumbella, Chief Toadstool said, turning to me. I wished I was unconscious again. Her bright blue eyes stared into mine, and it made me uncomfortable. I could see the bags underneath. Could tell she hadn't had a good night's sleep in weeks. Of course it's not. Never is with me, is it? Gumbella muttered. The princess ignored it. Luigi, Chief Toadstool stated. I was not used to anyone saying my name so much. It was usually only my brother. When was the last time you spoke to or saw Mario? Oh no, my mind raced. Thoughts swirled together in a horrible mishmash, like two Yoshis trying to lick the same ice cream cone. This was exactly what I was afraid of. This was exactly what I didn't want to hear. If Princess Peach didn't know where Mario was, things were bad. Things were really bad. What could have happened? What if he was kidnapped? What if he was hurt? What if it was worse? Luigi, she repeated, snapping me back into the reality of her cramped office. I know this must be tough right now, but please try to answer me. I'm sure you're well aware that Mario's been missing for quite some time. If you can tell us anything at all, we might have a better shot at finding him. Was my face pale? It must have been pale. It must have been terrified. Gumbella stared at me, open-mouthed like I was some kind of burning trash fire. There was a seriousness in Toadstool's voice that frightened me, more than anything. I had hoped she would tell me everything would be okay, but here she was, explaining to me that things were probably worse than I had imagined. Here she was, explaining that she didn't know where Mario was to his brother, because his brother was too stupid to know he's even missing in the first place. Say something, man! Gumbella shouted, a verbal bonk to my noggin. Sorry, I quickly replied, trying to think of the last time I saw Mario. It felt like so long ago, like a completely different time, like a different universe even. It must have been a week ago. I told them as such, or at least the best I could with my stutters. A week ago, Mario had brought home some sort of ravioli from Chef Tordai's bakery. I think they were just frozen raviolis from the grocery store nearby that Chef Tordai was trying to pass off as a gourmet, but I suppose that's not important. It's not, Gumbella said, impatiently. He also brought home some amazing strawberry and lime Coca-Cola bottles home to drink, straight from Cork and Cask across the street. Don't tell Chef Tordai, he hates Cork and Cask, and I think they hate him. Yes, we all know those stores are rivals for some reason. Gumbella tapped her foot on the tile. Weird, never seen her around. How would she know that? Look, I know everybody, okay? Except me, I guess. Please, go on, Luigi, Toadstool said lightly, although her pleasant tone appeared to be reaching its limit. Did Mario say anything about what he was going to be doing? Did he have any plans to go anywhere? And just how was I supposed to answer this? Mario and I, well, we live together and we eat together and all that, but we never really talk to each other that much. It's not like we don't like each other or anything. It's just that we don't need to have to say anything to each other. Mario does his thing and I do my thing, which is mostly just stay at home and fix the plumbing and work on the kitchen sink. The sink is a monster, I tell you. One time I found a piranha plant the size
Luigi, please,
Toadstool said, exasperated. Sorry. I remember that night, a little bit at least. Mario was in a good mood and that made me happy too. I might not have the best life or live the most fulfilling days, but knowing that my brother is out there working hard to help people and do good things in the world makes me feel a little bit like I did that. Maybe it's cruel for me to try and leech off his glory, but all I knew was he was happy, and I was happy for him. He ate his ravioli at his desk, and I ate in the living room and watched a documentary about how Coca-Cola is made. He fell asleep at his desk, and I cleaned up and went to bed on my own, and that's it. Gumbella was not nearly as good as hiding her emotions as Toadstool was. Eyebrow raised, she was clearly skeptical of the whole thing. What about the next morning? Did you talk to Mario at all? See where he was going? Anything? I shook my head. Mario's usually gone before I wake up. It didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary. He'd always call if he wasn't going to make it home, but he never did that night. Or the next one. I waited by the phone. So many terrible scenarios ran through my head. I just wanted to hear the phone ring. To hear it all go back to normal. I'm sorry, Luigi, Toadstool said, her eyes betraying nothing. It seemed sincere. It's not your job to know everything your brother does. I should have kept better tabs on him. Did she know something about what happened to Mario? Did she set him on a case? Was it an overly dangerous case? No, it was nothing like that, Toadstool said firmly. Mario does not always work for us, you realize. I know it wasn't an insult, and if I tried to prove it was, everyone would call me a liar, but I could swear she was a little passive-aggressive there. He's a private detective first and foremost. Sometimes he gets a job for something that I'm not aware of. I am wondering if this was one of those times. I've tried to get into contact with him over the past week, but I've had no luck. Gumbella stared at Peach for a moment, as if trying to find something. She shook it off, adding, and that's when she sent me to investigate. Mario may not be a cop like us, but he's a hero to New Donk City. He's helped us so much over the years, and we wanted to make sure he was okay. I couldn't help but feel strange about the whole situation. I never knew Princess Peach that well, but I felt like she was hiding something. She didn't look it, but she was very worried about Mario's well-being. Why? Was it really just because he was an ace detective? Of course, I kept this all to myself. I didn't doubt Gumbella, at least. And we know nothing so far, Toadstool said with another sigh. She appeared to be losing more and more of her energy as time went on. I felt like there was a bit of aggression buried deep in her words, but it wasn't aimed at me. Sorry, Peach, Gumbella said, assuming that aggression was meant for her. I wasn't sure it was. Chief. Chief Toadstool, ma'am. I guess when you're the boss, it's important to keep up appearances, even in front of someone like me. Well, if that's everything, I should suppose you should get back to work. Toadsworth has been on my case even more than usual lately, and Bowser's been quiet for too long. It's not like him. Not to mention there's been a surplus of weapons on the streets lately. I think Smithy has been working overtime for some odd reason, and Toadsworth wants me to find out why. Smithy? Why that name sounds so familiar? And why did it send a metallic chill down my spine? Gumbella groaned. I don't know it. None of the boys have had Kekletta's location confirmed in days either. It's like they know Mario's not around. I don't like it, Chief. And Kekletta? Again, I think I know that name. A celebrity, maybe? But there was something fairly awful about it. Fairly awful? Awful? Okay. Chief Toadstool nodded and took a seat at a desk. She suppressed the urge to sigh. Even her blinks seemed slower, like she was trying to milk every moment of rest she could. I don't like it either. That's why I want you to escort Luigi back to his home. Eh? Me? Why? You brought him here, she said, almost gently. I think it's common courtesy that you should take him back. Not to mention you're supposed to be investigating that building for any clues anyway, remember? There was that muffled anger again. It's just, I don't even have a partner anymore, you know? Gumbella felt eyes burning into her. I mean, yes, ma'am. And Luigi, if you remember anything, or find anything at all, you be sure to call me, alright? She stared at me dead on, her tired eyes gleaming like dusty royal gems. I don't think I could refuse her even if I wanted. Is there anything else you need before you go? Ah, well, that reminded me. There was one thing I needed to look into. If anyone would know, maybe it would be them. Chief Toadstool tilted her head in confusion. Daisy's crown? What about that woman? She's not reported anything stolen to us. I suppose it made sense Daisy didn't want to get involved with the law. Rubella's eyes lit up like bombs on the 4th of July. Oh my gosh, the Daisy? You know her? Yes. I explained to them that she has me on a case to find her missing crown. Chief Toadstool seemed unimpressed, but Gumbella could hardly contain her excitement. At least it looked like it wouldn't be a quiet trip back home. And that's the end of chapter 2. Wow, that was a long one. Oh gosh. I don't think the intro was this long. Jeez, how much time do I have on here? 35 minutes. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be nice to edit. Oh yeah, this will be great. Let's hope open shot doesn't crash on me again this time. As for you people, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Assuming this video actually gets uploaded. Because as things currently are, I'm still... I can't upload videos over 15 minutes long, so yeah, we'll see what that becomes of things. That was a sentence. So we'll see what comes of that. So anyway, like I said, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Ciao. I slapped myself across the face a little harder than I probably should have. Ow! Okay, that was probably not a good idea. Ah! Does that work? That's a good effect. That'll probably turn out pretty good. That's the one you should probably keep. Yeah. Alright. Relax.